My virgin asshole has been pulverized. 2 days ago, I went through a traumatic experience through my rectal cavity, and I am still recovering. I will never be the same. Something has changed inside of me, and I'm no longer the man I once was. My poor brown booty hole has been stretched and pushed to the limits, and now it looks like a modified Honda Civic muffler. It's all big and bloated, and fumes and gases pass by with no restrictions at all. Even now, 2 days later, my anal cavity still hasn't recovered. It's all loose and mangled. It's all battered and bruised and beaten down to a pulp. Now you might be asking yourself, what happened, bro, huh? Did a big black guy blow your back out? What happened, huh? Explain to us what happened to your anal cavity. Well, what had happened was I went to the supermarket and came across this blowout sale, a blowout deal of muscle milk. And I thought, oh my God, 25 bottles of muscle milk for $10? Don't mind if I do. I took 2 boxes with me. And I said, I have all this protein now. Why would I even bother cooking my meals? I'll just chug down protein shakes all day. Well, apparently, this is a huge mistake. Because when you eat high levels of protein with very little fiber, you start experiencing a little something called constipation. Now, I've never been constipated in my entire life. I'm the type of guy that I eat a meal and 30 minutes later, I'm literally shitting bricks. It just is the way that it is. So starting that afternoon, I went into a now all-protein milkshake diet. The next day, same thing. But midway through the day, I said, this isn't realistic, okay? These protein shakes, they do not fill me up. I'm still starving. I need to eat real food. So I said, you know what? Since I've been eating protein all day today and, half the day yesterday, why do I reward myself with a cheat meal? I'm going to go to Chipotle and I'm going to get a Chipotle burrito, a fat, massive Chipotle burrito. Big mistake. Remember what I said before. Whenever I eat something 30 minutes later, that food is already digested and I'm already in the bathroom shitting my brains out. That Chipotle burrito, as soon as I finished the meal, 40 minutes later, that Chipotle burrito is going to be shitted out completely. Keep in mind, though, I had already said that I've been drinking protein shakes since the day before, halfway through the day. Well, little did I know there was already a constipation being formed in my colon. It was already there. It was a big, dry log. It wasn't massive. It was a short log. And it was dry and it was massive. And there was no way it was going to come out of my tight little brown booty hole. Now, I want you to compound that with me eating a Chipotle burrito the next day. Keep in mind that Chipotle burrito, after I ate it 45 minutes later, it's already knocking on my asshole. Let me out! Let me out, bro! Let me out! I want to get out of here already! That started happening around 10 o'clock that night. So I get home, I get comfortable, I take my pants off, I'm on my phone, I'm thinking, I'm gonna take a 5-minute shit, I'm gonna go through my phone, see what's going on in the internet, and things are gonna be amazing. Well, little did I know, I was about to experience 45 minutes of pain and hell. I sit in the toilet, spread my cheeks wide open, take the first push, and nothing happens at all. This is very bizarre. Remember, as soon as I take the first push, spread my cheeks, take the first push, a massive log comes out, I flush it down the toilet, and I go on about my day. Not this time. You see, this time, I pushed once, I pushed twice, I pushed 3 times, and I pushed as hard as I can, and just the beginning of this monstrosity, the head of this monstrosity comes out, takes a peep, opens my anal cavity, and takes a look and says, breathe, freedom! Oh, shit, what's going on out here? And then nothing else happens. It's literally just stuck there. And it's dry, and it's massive, and it's a log. And I say to myself, well, this is bizarre. What's happening here? So I take another push. Nothing happens. Now, usually when I'm dropping a massive log, I do this thing where I clench my anal cavity and it chops the log in half. And one half of the log just goes back in my body. And the other half just goes in the toilet and you hear that splashing sound. And I know this might sound a little bit vulgar, but you don't have to excuse me. But we're talking about reality here. We're talking about real life stuff here on this channel. So I clenched my anal cavity, and the log is probably telling me, listen, bro, you're going to have to give birth to us. That clenching thing you do, that doesn't work this time, mister. We're jam-packed, we're compact, we're built like a brick house. Look at the size of me. You're going to have to give birth to us. And hurry up, because we want to live in the free world. We want to be free. Now, keep in mind, when you're not used to being constipated, when you're not dealing with these things, you don't know how hard you should push. I'm thinking I'm pushing as hard as I can. I'm pushing as hard as I can, and this thing is just slightly coming out. And I'm trying to clinch the anal cavity to try to chop it in half, and nothing's working. So I started to panic. I started to go into a frenzy. I started to Google stuff. And apparently I was going through this condition called fecal impaction. Look it up, fecal impaction. I'm not making this stuff up. It's on the internet. It's on Google. Look it up. I was going through a condition called fecal impaction. And Google was telling me, my nigga, you're fucked. The only solution for you to get that log out of your ass is to go to the hospital, rush yourself to the hospital, spread your cheeks so a medical doctor could come and manually remove that massive log inch by inch, foot by foot until you're clean and clear. I quickly said to myself, that's not happening. I'm sorry. I would rather die here in this bathroom with a massive log in my ass. I want my family to find me in the bathroom in doggy with a massive log halfway out of my asshole. Dead. I blew my heart out pushing as hard as I can, and I passed away, and the log never came out. I would rather that happen than me have to go to the hospital and explain to a medical doctor who went to school for 15 years and explain to him, hey, doctor, I need you to put this log out of my ass. Please, doctor, please. It's not happening. It's embarrassing, and I would just rather die. And it's just mind-boggling to me that people actually go ahead and go to the hospital for these type of things. And it makes me wonder, you fat and ugly and poor people, you people don't have regular bowel movements like me. You people don't. You people shit maybe once every 3 days, maybe once a week, maybe. My coworker told me. I came to work, first thing I told him was like, bro, you won't believe what happened to me over the weekend. You won't believe it. I sat on the toilet for 45 minutes dropping the most massive log I've ever seen in my entire life. You won't believe it was the most painful thing I've ever gone through. Bro, you can't believe it, bro. I thought I was going to die. He was like, yeah, bro. I mean, I go through that all the time. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, bro, I don't really be shitting like that. I should maybe once a week. What? Once a week, nigga? What are you talking about? Yeah, bro, sometimes it's once every 2 weeks. I was mind blown. I couldn't believe it. And then I thought to myself, well, yeah, of course. I mean, these people eat like fucking animals. Look at this fatso. This guy's a fatso. He's an unbelievable fat ass. Of course he goes to the bathroom maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. Well, folks, the next 20 minutes I pushed with all my heart and all my soul. And inch by inch and centimeter by centimeter, that massive log was coming straight out of me. Now keep in mind that technique I regularly use where I clench my sphincter and it chops the log in half. This log, this massive 8-incher was halfway out already, about 4 inches out. I tried to pull the maneuver where I clinched the anal cavity again. Nothing. In fact, it was even more painful now because you're making your booty hole even tighter now. And that massive log, it has no give to it. It was literally like a piece of wood. And that's when I decided, it's literally now or never. There's no more clinching your anal cavity. There's no more this or that. You have to give it your all. You're almost there. Push as hard as you possibly can. And I had already decided if my anal cavity rips into pieces, I don't care. If my large intestine comes right out of me and it's all in the toilet bowl, I don't care as well. But this log is coming out no matter what. I push as hard as I can for the next 5 minutes, push as hard as I possibly can. And finally, that big massive log comes out of me. And my poor booty hole was all distressed. I noticed, after you take a deuce, your booty hole just closes again and it goes back to normal. Not this time. I felt my butthole breathing, and it was like, bro, what the fuck was that? It started coughing. And right away, the first thing I thought was listen, I'm not even going to wipe. There's just no way. I'm going to stand up, turn around, and look at this thing right in the eyes to see what came out, this monstrosity that came out of me. What is this thing even? What is this thing? Folks, no exaggeration, it looked like 2 Red Bull energy drinks, just bigger, thicker, and a little bit longer. Like 2 of them combined into one. A massive log. And by the way, it didn't even swirl around the toilet. It was literally just laying there flat on the bowl. That's when I said, oh my God, this is completely outrageous. How the hell was this even possible? How did this even come out of me? So, the next step is, what are you going to do? You're going to put it in a bag and save it and preserve it? No, you got to flush it down the toilet. So I flushed down the toilet. Nothing happens. Nothing. By the way, usually logs, when it's a big log after eating a lot of food, it swirls around the toilet. No, not this one. It just laid flat on the bowl. I flushed down the toilet. It swirls around, all the water swirling around. Everything moves except for the log. So now it didn't want to come out of me. Now it doesn't even want to leave. It wants to stay there for all eternity. So I get the plunger and I start poking at it, just shoving it down the hole. I literally just start smashing it into the hole. By the way, it never broke apart. It stood intact. This log had incredible integrity. It was something out of this world. So I'm shoving it down the toilet hole, and then I flush again, and by the glory of God, it flushed down, but there's a problem. You know what? You know when you flush down the toilet, it just sinks with a lot of pressure. This time, it sinks with very little pressure. So now, it's not only my problem, now it's the building's problem. All of my neighbors are going to be affected by this. Because, once you flush it down the toilet, the plumbing system, you share with all your neighbors. All your neighbors are going to share this plumbing system. They flush down the toilet, and it goes through the same system that you're flushing down through. And now this massive log is backing up everybody's bathrooms. So now I'm frantically just pouring water in the toilet bowl, chugging it down, flushing it down, and pumping it with a plunger. And meanwhile, my asshole's pulsating this entire time. My pants are down, and I'm pouring more water, flushing down the toilet to see if the pressure's back. Took about 20 minutes to get it back to normal working function. Listen, when I tell you, this was completely unbelievable. The whole ordeal took about an hour and 15 minutes. From the time I first started pushing to the time I started figuring out what was actually going on with me, started Googling and YouTubing videos, to the part I said, you know what, I'm committed to this. I'm going to blow this thing out of my ass. No matter, I'll blow on my ass if it needed to be. I don't care. But this thing is coming at me. To then me having to go ahead and smash that log down the toilet hole so I can get away, so I can be able to flush it down the toilet. About an hour and 20 minutes, this whole ordeal. It was a war. And by the way, my anal cavity is still pulverized. It's still mangled and bruised and beaten. And I don't know, I'm not sure if it's ever going to recover. I mean, look at gay guys. Gay guys have to wear diapers all day. Farts just come out of these guys. You're on a gay guy, it literally smells like fart all day. I mean, from my understanding, gay guys walk around on a 24-hour basis with a gaping hole all day. That's just how it is with these guys. I don't know why. So is that going to be the case for me? I'm not sure. I hope not. I really do hope not. It's just outrageous. But, I share the story as I guess it can be used as a sort of inspiration. Look, guys, sometimes in life things get difficult. And you have to make a choice and bite down and say, I'm going to get through this. Nothing's going to stop me.